Hello there everyone, welcome back to another Gate Ruler video. So, this is just going to be a pretty chatty one. I kind of just wanted to talk about my experience with the game so far and why I'm really enjoying it. And sort of even beyond that initial honeymoon phase that there is with kind of any game. Let's get started with my card game history, because I think that's pretty relevant to this discussion. So, I've been playing card games since like the late noughts, so like 2008, 2009, since around then, and the first game I tried was, I believe, the Pokemon card game. And that was back in like primary school, and that was a lot more collectible though. I didn't really play. We just, like, everyone like my primary school like loved the Pokemon. We loved Pokemon, so we just like played the card stuff. And I remember like the Doctor Who trading card game and stuff like that as well. We never really actually played. We traded and we collected. That was the main thing we did. Moving on into the future, starting secondary school, I gave Yu-Gi-Oh! A try, and that was the first game I actually started taking relatively seriously, for me anyway. And relatively seriously for me meant that I would look online for like cards and like different products and like maybe even watch a few YouTube videos. Crazy. And that was sort of the time, the sort of the thing I was doing, and I suppose it's worth considering the context of the time as well, because that was like 10 years ago, and I'm pretty sure YouTubing was definitely nowhere near as big back then as it was now, so there was also a lot less to find, but there was stuff. And I distinctly remember playing like Dark Worlds, and I remember playing this like starter deck Xyz build, which was based around like these musical, like I think one of them was called like Musa Rhythm. I want to say like it was like they were like a trumpeter, and like they were like members of a marching band kind of looking thing. And I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Through till Drag Ruler format. And those of you who remember around then, so like I played through Insectors, I played through all that, and then Drag Rulers hit, and Spellbooks, and as a like 13-year-old or something, wasn't really my cup of tea, could not afford that stuff, so I kind of dipped at that point. My interest was very much gone, because I couldn't even afford to play the game, and I would go to locals and I would lose every game. It wasn't fun. Then I tried Vanguard, because a random friend of mine happened to be trying it, and gave it a go, and ended up really enjoying it. And there was a while where I was like playing, but like not really, and I wasn't really playing any card games. I was just buying a couple things, and then finally, when I was a bit older and I actually, able to make informed purchase decisions, went out, built my Vanguard decks, went to locals, did all that sort of stuff, the traditional card gamey things. Had a really good time, and I played Vanguard probably from about from like set 9, original set 9 through to the start of Legion. I'd say the start of Legion was around when my interest started waning, 2014, around then. Certainly I was heavy into Vanguard during Limit Break era. Heavy into that game. I bought cases of sets and stuff, and I was proper tryharding. And that was a big reason why I fell out of love with the game as well, because tryharding in Vanguard is a really bad idea, and that hasn't really changed to this day. Fundamentally, there is a lot of RNG in the game, and in a game where the tournament system, the company that runs the tournaments thinks the game is casual, it's not a fantastic mix. So you get these best of one situations where you basically, yes, there is a skill floor and a skill ceiling, but they're both pretty low, and a lot of people plateau very quickly, and at that point it's just an RNG shitfest, which was not super fun. Now, maybe it's better now, and I'm certainly told it's a lot better. It was a lot better during G, and it's a lot better in Premium. I have only played those for fun. I've really not try-harded those, but there was that. And around this time when I started falling out of love was because I tried a little bit of Magic, and I tried Buddy Fight. And I'd played Magic, I played the Commander and stuff, and Magic I just really didn't enjoy because of lands, and I hated the feeling of just open 4 lands and two spells, and I was like, okay, well, I can't really do anything here, but if I mulligan, I'm going to get less cards, and blah blah blah. So I ended up not being too fond of Magic, though I did find Commander fun, for what it was at the time, which I think there was a lot less focus on it back then, but anyway. Body Fight was the game that I was like, yep, this is the one. And I played that game through the entire lifetime, and that was my main game and that was definitely the game I was best at. It is not a vain statement, I feel, to say I was pretty damn good at that game, because I have the tops to show it. The main one, I got top 8 at the final Worlds. I suppose I'm not expecting another one. So before the game was cancelled. So I really enjoyed that game. So that's my history. Now let's move into Gate Ruler. So apologies for wasting 5 minutes of your time with a little backstory there, but hopefully I won't have to give it again in any other videos, because I can just point people to this one. So there's me, my card game history. Wrapping up to Gate Ruler, 2021. What is it about this game that has me so enthralled that other card games have just been unable to do? Oh, I tried Weiss as well, but that was more recent. Anyway, I tried everything, but not as seriously. Well, here is the main thing, and the big thing that also kept me so engaged with early Buddy Fight. I'm not bored yet, and as I've gotten older, and my card game fundamentals have improved significantly, and I've just basically been better at card games, I get bored a lot more quickly because, Vanguard's a really good example. I considered getting back into it again, and I would sit down and I would just get bored. I would play 10, 15 games, and I would be like, okay, I'm done now. I don't want to play this anymore. I don't think there's anything more to gain from playing this game. I'm not enjoying it as much as I was during those first few games. And this is not me shitting on Vanguard. I know lots of people really enjoy that game, and I still really enjoy it casually. I am saying more from a competitive standpoint here, because I play a lot. If I'm going to play a game, I'm going to play it a lot, and I need there to be that longevity there. So the fact that I'm not bored yet after a month of pretty heavy play, actually, if I were to get up my Steam history, basically all the time I've put into TTS has been Gate Ruler, and I think that's 60 hours at this point in Gate Ruler, subtracting a bit for other stuff I did because I played Digimon there for a little bit, but 60 hours is not bad, considering the game is not really out, and I've basically that's 60 in-game hours, because I'll only fire up TTS to actually play. And I'm not even close to bored, and frankly I feel like I'm only just starting to really get the game, which is really amazing. The fact that, to compare with other games like Digimon, I got bored after a couple of weeks of playing the game, because I felt like I just kind of knew the game. And I think that's an apt comparison, because in both scenarios it was a brand new game. I was playing Digimon, actually I was playing set 2 formats. It was actually 2 sets of the game there that I was experiencing, and I felt that after a couple of weeks I had a really solid grasp of the fundamentals, and I understood the meta, and I determined that I didn't really think there was much left for me to learn. And then it came down to the actual gameplay, and I was like, it's kind of a pretty obvious strategy to do here, to just win those games. And, once you were doing that, it was like, okay, well, now, whatever. It didn't feel as dynamic, and I didn't feel, certainly in terms of deck building, I was like, okay, you have to, because of the way the game is designed, you really do have to do things a certain way. There's not that much freedom. There is some, obviously, but not that much. This was another issue with Vanguard as well. There was just basically no freedom in deck building, because Vanguard especially was just atrocious for this. There's basically no deck building skill, really. You can very much just wait for someone to solve it, and then outside of a few tech choices that are relevant for the meta, you're good to go. Body Fight near the end very much felt like this as well. Once you sort of solved the deck, there were tech choices, and that was kind of it. Because of how archetype focused the game got, and that's really the bushy road showing through, because the game was not like that at the start. That's certainly true. So I've sort of merged 2 points together there, but the first one, I'm not bored yet, and the second one, deck building is really, really fun. Deck building is so fun. I'm constantly just I'll randomly see a card and I'll go, oh hey, I should make this deck, and you can. One really nice thing is the fact that the dude who made the game has so much card game experience. It really shows. Like, you can tell, because almost all of the cards in set 1 in the starter decks are good, or at least playable. Obviously some are better than others, it's how nature of a card game, but so many of them are viable enough to justify trying to include them, trying to build around. And that's a real breath of fresh air, because that was definitely not the case with Buddy Fight, that was definitely not the case with Vanguard when I was playing. Like, you really, like, I remember back, and then, like, I saw Rage Inform and I was like, yes. And then the deck sort of just built itself around that, because you go in, okay, well, I need to run this good grade 2, and I need to run this good grade 1, and I need to run these triggers, and oh, I've got like 4 cards left. Run that. Doesn't really matter. So, you know, the fact that I can sit here and I can constantly go and genuinely feel, and to be fair, it is entirely possible that I'm just too bad at the game to realise yet that there are optimal strategies, like, very possible. I'll fully admit that I probably do suck at the game still, but I just feel like there's so much variety, and there really doesn't seem to be an optimal way to do anything. There's an optimal 60 to 80% of the way to do something. There's an optimal skeleton, sure. You know, fundamentally, if you want to play Robos, you're gonna have to play the Galax, you're gonna play the Gashodokaros, you're gonna play the emergency recombinations, you're probably gonna play the Pojimus, you're gonna be playing the crystals, but you know, and you're going to be playing 1,000-year cherry trees. But, you know, outside of those obvious staples, there's a lot of room to really customize and build for the meta and, you know, play cards you want to play, because fundamentally so many of them are good enough to justify that you can just go, yeah, I just want to play this card. And you're rarely going to be punished for just playing something bad, because there are just fundamentally not that many bad cards. And even the ones that are bad could be very good in the future, depending on how rulers get designed. So, yeah, 2 points there. I'm not bored, and deck building is fun again. Those are 2 kind of very linked points. The next point about why I'm having so much fun with Gate Ruler is I legitimately have faith in the company to just not screw me over. And this is something that is, again, nice from so many years of playing Bushiroad card games, where just the power creep was atrocious. And I think, like, this is not true. This is true of basically all card games, especially recently. It feels like power creep has been particularly bad across the board, for all companies, all card games, but Bushiroad in particular is really bad for this, and I don't think there's any real debate. I don't think that's a contentious statement. It's pretty clear that company is more focused on sales than on creating a game that is healthy. And you can actually see that, for those of you who are not aware, Ikeda's actually getting sued by Bushiroad for saying things about his time working for them, for Buddy Fight, for breaking NDA. And one of the things he said was that, I should say this is not affecting Gate Ruler at all, please don't leave comments about it, I've had to answer enough of them, it doesn't matter. But anyway, one of the things he said that was very interesting was the amount of pressure that he was put under to make sales, to the point that it was like, we don't really care how you balance the game, we need you to sell, we need money here. And that's totally unsurprising. You know, it's very clear that Bushiroad are completely capable of designing fantastic sets, because you look at any of their games and there are periods where the metas are great, you have a huge amount of fun, but continually they fuck it up, and you sit there and thinking, why do they keep doing this? They're clearly capable of designing these cards properly, and it's because sales dipped 6 months before whenever they were designing this set, so they were like, okay, well, we need to get some money here, so let's just ramp the power level and we'll do that. Blatantly obvious with Lost World going into Climax. Blatantly obvious, because Lost World on its initial launch was pretty okay, pretty fine. It was Climax that really pushed it over the edge and made it too crazy. This is previous stuff though. So yeah, basically I have faith that this company is not going to screw me over. Whereas this has happened to me with Bushiroad, it happens with Konami, it's happening with Wizards a lot. If you play Magic, I'm keeping an eye on that game. God, I feel bad for Magic players. They've actually probably got it worst out of anyone. Konami's probably doing best at the moment, actually, worryingly enough. It's definitely happening with Digimon. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to that game, but they have a big old tier 0 meta right now, and that does not look fun to play. Anyway, basically, yeah, I just have faith that because of and okay, so let me link this to the next point and the final point, which was developer communication. Like the guy who makes the game is active on Twitter, tweets about his thought process for the game, tweets about all this stuff, and like you can interact with him, you can ask questions, you can give feedback. Not many games do that, and certainly no Japanese ones that I know of like are this vocal. I know like Wizards are pretty good with communication, but I'm pretty sure none of the Japanese card games like do this stuff. So this is really nice. So there's this fact that we're always able to understand his thought process, and he explains why he does these things. Now, plenty of people don't like him, and that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. Personally, I have nothing against the guy, but I know that he's done things that are unpopular in the past. But you have to appreciate the fact that someone's willing to sit down and go, listen, this is why I'm doing this. I'm open to your feedback, but I think the reasons for doing this are pretty good. You got to respect that. One of the things he's doing, for example, is with the tournament kits. Yep, they'll be sent out to locals, but you can also buy your own, because he doesn't want to restrict the availability of promo cards. So, you know, you can just, you pay, you get the promos, and that's that. You know, other manufacturers don't do that, but that's a really good thing to do, because it means that the availability of these promo cards is there. Another thing he's doing, for example, is like he's communicating about his intention behind promo cards. He's going like, yeah, I am going to make I'm going to reprint every single promo within 2 sets, because I know people will struggle to get them. This was an issue for me in the past when I played card games, when I still do. Me as a kiddo, right? So that's a really nice level of communication to have, and I think it's really important, and it's something that's so nice, so refreshing, and it just gives me so much more faith that I'm not going to be sitting here getting screwed over totally by this company just because they need to make a quick buck. The passion that this man has for the game, and the fact that his only interest is just making a fun game. Like, guys, this dude owns Card Kingdom. He owns the biggest chain of card shops in Japan. He doesn't need the money. He's probably pretty fine for cash. He's doing this because he wants to. And that is a really nice level of security to have. He's not going to have someone breathing down his neck going like, we need to raise those sales figures. He is focused on enjoyment and quality of game. That's a really nice thing to have. So those are sort of the reasons why I'm really enjoying Gate Ruler, and why I think, you know, come April, which is I think the targeted English release, when we get this game here, I think people are really going to appreciate it as well. And just knowing that, you know, there is recourse there. The guy making the game is communicative, he's willing to make changes. The combined with how fun the game is, how well designed the game is, you know, that combination of faith in the company, faith in the game, and actual enjoyment is a really nice combo that I haven't felt in a long time. Not since I was certainly a lot less jaded, a lot more naive, and a lot younger. But that's why, as I guess I said, a very chatty video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it interesting. You know, it's nice to get other people's perspectives on card games, and now you have mine. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.